Okay, next we move on to royalty income. So what is actually royalty income? Royalty income is actually referred to income that you receive. Okay, any sum paid as a consideration for publication and the use or the right to use. Okay, the following such as copyright. Okay, copyright or sometimes like film. Okay, you buy the film and then you want to show on your station, TV station, therefore you pay for the copyright. Or sometimes you borrow some people artistic work or scientific work, pattern or design, secret processes, trademark. Okay, for instance, like you want to sell a t-shirt with the Upin and Ipin, therefore you get trademark from Les Kopak. You pay for the patent for that. Okay, you pay for the trademark for that because you cannot simply copy people's trademark or patent. So whenever you pay, this is actually considered as a royalty. Okay, and then it also includes recorder, musics, okay, TV broadcasting or other property or rights, as well as know-how, expertise, information concerning technical, industrial, commercial, scientific knowledge, experience, and so on. So the know-how, okay, expertise, this is all included under recipients of royalty income. Okay, the derivation of the royalty income also applies section 15, which is based on the royalty income can be derived in Malaysia, can also receive in Malaysia from outside Malaysia. Okay, so for the royalty, it will follow the similar basis year of assessment with regard to other sources of income. For individual, we follow calendar year. For the business, we follow financial year. Okay, and then for the deductibility expenses, also the same section applied, the same basis applied. You can claim whatever expenses that incur wholly and exclusively to generate that royalty income, and whatever that not directly related or private usage will be non-deductible as per section 39. Okay, in general, most of the time, whatever royalty income that you receive, you may get exemption. It's either partial exemption or full exemption. So we actually follow requirement as per Schedule 6 in the ITA according to the para 32, 32 capital A, 32 capital B, 32 C, D, and E. Okay, so specific para is actually mentioned about specific item that you would generate royalty income. Okay, let's look at if you refer to your textbook, page 185. Okay, it's mentioned there. Para 32 is actually referred to individual who receive royalty income with regard to the publication, use or right to use artistic work. Okay, so for instance, you have an arts. Okay, you are an artist, you have an arts. It's not original painting, it's like any other arts. If you go to the arts gallery, you can see all this design and so on. So you put your arts, your finished products over there, and of course they pay you certain amount of money, which is royalty. So in that case, okay, you will get exemption 10,000. So if let's say for that matter you receive 20,000, so exemption 10,000 meaning only 10,000 will be taxable. The same thing when you record your discs or tapes. Okay, you are good at singing, so you go and do your recording at recording companies, and of course when they sell your CD and so on, you will get royalty payment. Okay, so for that matter, you also get exemption of 10,000 for the year. Okay, the next one, para 32 capital A, is actually talking about translation, royalty that you receive in relation to translation of books, literary work at the request of Ministry of Education, Higher Education or AG chambers, meaning that you do translation work from any language. Okay, it can be from Bahasa to English, from Mandarin to Bahasa whatsoever. So in that case, whatever amount that you receive, you will get exemption of 12,000. Okay, the next one, para 32 capital B, is actually talking about royalty that you receive in relation to literary work or original painting. Okay, now where you put your painting in any particular gallery, and then they pay you royalty. So for that matter, that royalty will get exemption of 20,000. Okay, para 32 capital C is actually talking about income that received by individual person who perform cultural performance, and this must be approved by the minister. Okay, so in this case you will get exemption. Okay, and then the next one is para 32 capital D. This is talking about musical composition. This is when you very good in music writing, so you compose a song and then you sell your song to any recording company and you get royalty payment. Okay, so in this case also you were able to get exemption. Okay, full exemption for musical composition. Okay, the next one, 32 capital C, capital E is actually referring to any income or royalty income that received by an individual as a way of fee or honorarium in respect of the services provided for the purpose of validation, moderation, and accreditation of franchise educational program. So this is example like you are a lecturer or you are an academician of one institution and you be appointed by MQA to go to do the validation of certain education program in other universities. So for that matter, you receive royalty income. So this income is actually taxable. However, you get full exemption in the case of this. Okay, that is 32 capital E. Okay, and then the last one, if you refer to the textbook, scientific research. Okay, scientific research is actually when you carry on scientific research and sometimes output from the scientific research you can commercialize. Okay, so if when you commercialize, of course, you generate income. Okay, however, in this case, 50% from that statutory income from that scientific research, you will get exemption of 50%. So those are some of the exemptions that given in the case of royalty income. So first, when you have royalty income, you have to identify which category of the royalty income does it fall into, okay, respective to Schedule 6. And from there, we determine is it you will get partial exemption or is it you will get full exemption. So that is with regard to royalty income. Okay, so now you have complete the other sources of income. You have learned about employment income. Okay, and then after that we have covered section 4C, dividend and interest. Okay, the most common one, and section 4D, the rental and royalties. So in the case of the format of computation, we have to split according to the section 4B, section 4C, section 4D. And then within that section 4D, for instance, you have rental income and royalty income. That also must be split because in order to deduct any expenses must be matching to the respective income. So if you are talking about deducting expenses related to rental activities, therefore you set off against rental income. Okay, so your income is actually based on gross minus any deductible expenses you would derive to adjusted and also known as statutory income. Okay, so that is basically a specific format how to compute statutory income for respective types of income under section 4C, 4D, and for the rest. Okay, after you get all the statutory income, so the next step is actually to compute aggregate income. Okay, what is actually aggregate income? Aggregate means accumulate. Okay, aggregate means accumulating. So in this case, you're actually accumulating all your statutory income. So in aggregate income, what happens is that you will add on all your statutory employment income, dividend income if any, interest income if any, statutory rental income and statutory royalty income, and also if we have any from 4E and 4F. So that will come to the total of aggregate income. Okay, so after aggregate income, of course, you have few more items to deduct. In this case, you have current year business loss. Okay, you also have approved donations. So this I will cover later, especially approved donations when we do exercises or tutorial in the online tutorial session next week. Okay, so aggregate income minus these two, therefore you will get total income. Okay, so now you have a complete set of your GASAT. So G for gross, A and S is for adjusted and statutory income. And then after that you have aggregate income. Then after that you have total income. Okay, now I want to refer to you how the format of computation if you have husband and wife. Okay, so in this example, or in this scenario, what you have is that you have husband and husband is working and wife is working. So in that manner, normally when we do the computation, it will be computed based on individual basis because it is individual responsibility, okay, or liability to pay tax. So in the case of husband, so we determine what are the income that received by the husband. Okay, and later on you will get aggregate income for the husband minus any donations that he had, and therefore you have total income. The same thing goes with the wife. Wife also you determine how much is the total or aggregate income for the wife, and then minus whatever that she had. Then you have total income. So from gross income until total income, the computation is actually will be split between husband and wife. So you're going to have two total income regardless whether they want to do combined assessment or joint assessment. I will explain that later in the next session. Okay, so for your information, whenever we compute, it must be separated. Okay, so you can do in this format, column next to each other. Okay, so that's all for other sources of income. So we have covered the definition of other sources of income, and then you also have look at the derivation basis, and then basis here how to determine whether that income is taxable or not. Okay, and then after that you have deductible expenses and exemption for certain types of income. Okay, so that's all. Thank you.